lot of the challenges were there was a 60-year-old building. We had over 60 residents who lived in this building 24/7. So we had all the amenities that we had to keep going for them.
Adding a sixth floor on top of a 5-story building is not an easy task, especially when the 5 floors below you are occupied. I think there was a big excitement on this project going into it, something probably none of us has ever done and probably will never do again.
The entire second floor, third floor, fourth floor were all occupied by residents. So, I mean, we're building on top of them on the 5th floor, we're building below them on the 1st floor, we're building the 6th floor on top of that. Keeping the residents out of our work areas, the work hours, the noise, it was definitely a challenge.
They took off the entire 6th floor of this building, the entire roof, and not have any water infiltration down below because people were living down below. That was probably one of the most amazing things that crew came up with, was how they kept that watertight and just piecemealed it together while they were doing the demo and putting it back together until they got that 6th floor on in that structure.
Keeping the building dry was huge. Building a 6th floor on top of an existing 5th-story building, we're building on top of a roof. We got to keep the building dry. There's people underneath us, so we literally stood the walls up, put roofing panels on, had the walls and roof completely watertight before we demoed the roof, but we were able to do that and kept everything dry and safe. We did some 3D modeling, built the building on a computer, calculated our crane picks, where the crane was going to be setting. We actually had safety committee that came out on site as we did the picks just to make sure everybody was safe. And again, we had people working underneath us, so safety was top priority.
I'd say when we started the 6th floor, obviously that was kind of the biggest challenge of the job. The week we started the demo on the 6th floor, weeks prior to that we had been planning it. So we had a plan of action, a schedule down to the day of what needed to take place. We had to shut the water off a few times. We had to have a few power shutdowns when we swapped out the switchgear. But all that had to be scheduled weeks in advance. So you got to get it on board with the suppliers to make sure all the equipment's there. You got to make sure the subs are on board to man up when that day comes. And then obviously the owners need to know about it so they can notify all the residents. Everybody's got to be in the know, and it's kind of a bottleneck. It runs through us, so we're in charge of making sure everybody knows.
Collaboration with the owner was second to none. We had weekly in-person meetings, walkthroughs. Their biggest priority was keeping the residents in the building comfortable. So, there was times that we had to do some night work, some weekend work. We'd build temporary walls, we'd soundproof everything and work along their guidelines. I think at the end of the day, his biggest important factor for the owner was to keep his residents safe and happy while they were in the building, and I think we were over to do that.
I'm not surprised that Simpson Construction is up for awards on this project. It was difficult. It's just a credit to them and their staff that they made it happen. They're just an amazing team. They work well together, proactive, just every step of the way. They did a good job for Brewster Place. Brewster will reap the benefits of that for years and years to come.